And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and providing you the timely truth centered around real estate, credit, finance, estate planning, tax planning, and so much more. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, where our number one goals are to educate, entertain, enlighten, and we want to engage you to help you win.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, we want you to save our hotline number in your phone, 813-670-7372.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
813-670-7372. And bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. You'll find a lot of information at consumerqb.com. You can see links to all of our expert contributors, 80-plus show partners that we bring together. We bring on the show to help you win no matter what you're facing out there. And we want to give a shout-out to Mary Maids, our official cleaning partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Mary Maids, take care of your winter cleaning. We know clean. Leave the details to us. And they're bonded, insured, customized cleaning programs. And they are the recipients of the 2016 Women's Choice Award and America's Most Recommended Cleaning Services. And the same team cleans whenever possible. So Mary Maids, relax. It's done. And we are in studio. It's Intelligent Talk Radio. I've got some intelligent folks here in studio with me. Leo Kane back in the house. Principal Project Manager for Beryl Engineering. Welcome in.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm so aggravated with all this unlicensed contracting going around, so I plan to vent on the air today.
Okay, let's do it. We got a rant coming today from Leo.
Super rant.
Chuck Peterson in the house as well, Executive Director, Suncoast Roofing.
Glad to be back. Glad Leo's here to rant. We'll rant with him on that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's jump on board that one. It sounds like it's much needed.
It is.
And also, Jerry Slutzky, Attorney Jerry Slutzky, estate planning attorney, back in studio. Welcome in.
Great to see you again. It's been a while.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Lots
sir.
been going on since I saw you last. So
yeah, that's right. We got our book done.
Yeah, finally finished the book. It only took me 7 years to write it.
Hey, it's
but it's available, and it's something that everybody can use.
Awesome. I like it. Good stuff. And speaking of books, we got our book on Amazon. Check it out. Become the MVP in your industry by surfing the radio waves. And we are teaching people how to start their own radio show. Entrepreneurs can grow their sphere of influence by reading this book, Amazon.com. And a published author, and I'm a professional speaker. We would love to speak to your organization, your group, and help you with whatever type of strategies you're looking for. But today we're starting off with a 2-minute drill. We got an audible coming from Peyton Manning there. So sometimes in life you want to call that audible. So what we're talking about today is the power of language. You know, think about how powerful our language is. It can start wars. It can create business plans. It can create lots of things. But here's some phrases that you want to look out for because it's a habit that happens with some people. So a lot of times you hear people saying, I want. And sometimes that can equal I lack. And if they say I wish, they can say, well, you know, maybe because I'm not in control, I'm disempowering. I wish I could do that. They say I need because I ain't got. I'm lacking that. I should, but maybe I don't want to. I can't, which means I'm trying, but I'm not committed. I hope, which means, it might happen, it might not happen. I hope it does, which equals a lack of faith. And I don't know just kind of slams the door shut. Whenever you say, I don't know, instead of, saying, hey, that's something I want to investigate further, maybe look for resources. And a lot of times it's not a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. Great replacements for empowering language are I have, I create, I'm grateful for, I enjoy, I can, I choose, I love, I will, I appreciate. These are words that are powerful, and they're powerful words for tools to connecting with each other, and use and choose them wisely. Slow down. Think about it before you speak. And a great quote from Nelson Mandela. He has a great quote where he talked about his father. He said anytime they would go to tribal meetings with his father, they would sit down, and he always noticed, he remembered two things from his following of his father. He said when they would sit down, they would always sit in a circle. The group would always sit in a circle. And he said that they would also, what he noticed about his father is that he was always the last to speak. So think about that before you come into a meeting. Sometimes you want to hold your thoughts back and be the last to speak. That way you can gather all the information, you can hear the other opinions, and then make a calculated and informed decision. All right, there's your 2-minute drill from the consumer quarterback. Let's jump right into it. We got Leo Kane in the house, principal project manager, and we're all ready to hear it, man.
Well, I'm still taking notes from what you just said. I'm like writing all this down, and I need to repeat the last 45 seconds, but I know this is just an hour-long show.
Yeah, so some good stuff there,
Yeah, I'm just kind of leads into my rant. I mean, I see a lot of I can'ts out there. So what's happening now is a lot of the reputable roofers are backed up, and people just don't want to wait because they're scared. This is a weird dry season in that when we get rains, they're coming down torrentially for like 4 or 5 hours, and then it's disappearing. So people with the tarps on their roof, or people that just can't wait for the reputable roofers to get to them, are finding non-reputable companies to replace their roofs. And I'm seeing it all right now. I'm seeing contractors that aren't replacing rotted sheathing. That's what's underneath your shingles and above the trusses. So we're up there to do a wind mitigation, which is to get insurance credits for the homeowners. And our inspectors could basically fall through the roof if they're not replacing the rotted sheathing.
Wow.
We're seeing ridge vents, which are the ventilation for the roof, not being put on, which means your shingles aren't going to last that long. We're seeing the shingles not fastened correctly on the rake edges. If you're looking at your roof, the triangle piece, that's called the rake at the edge, and they're not putting tar down. So if we have a good wind event, the shingles are just going to flap and blow right off. And I'm seeing so much of that right now. And every time I see one of these bad roofs, I'm asking the people, well, who's your roofer? And I've never heard of these companies. I'm getting general contractors I've never heard of. I'm getting out-of-state roofers.
Yep.
And it's like I'm not having any problems with the roofers that have been here in Tampa, established for years on end.
Right.
But I'm seeing a lot of things wrong with all these roofing companies that just popped up after Irma, saying that they're going to take advantage of the homeowners. And it's always the elderly, too. I don't know why. Yeah. It aggravates me when it's a 50, 60, 90-year-old lady that my roof's still leaking and they just put it on. And I just rant concluded. I'm just angry right now.
It is challenging. It's challenging because there's such a demand. I mean, we've talked in the past about labor shortages, and there's so much construction going on right now with the economy booming, the tax reforms. There's a lot of factors affecting that. But what's allowing that to happen? I think you guys were talking about that before.
Well, it's on the state level. They're backed up. They're allowing more contractors in that might not be checking the licenses as thorough. I know the building departments are all backed up. We get lucky sometimes when we find one of these problem roofs and the building department's actually flagged it. Sometimes we discover they never got their finals. Sometimes we discover they never got their interims. It makes it really easy for us to help the homeowner fight the roofing contractor because we can actually get the building department involved.
Right.
But if the building department was busy or if they just did a partial inspection and they just approved it, it becomes more of a fight. And then you're into the Florida defects. I think it's Florida Statute 558. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really talk about it, but that is the recourse if you had a lawyer to go after a contractor when they didn't actually build it correctly.
Yeah, it makes sense when you look at that, and unfortunately, it is a lot of times the seniors that are attacked and targeted in these spaces, and you see, hopefully there's some reform done. There's some watchdog agencies that are kind of overlooking that. Do you see anything in that space?
There's people smart enough for third-party inspections. That's what there is. There are people who are smart enough if they're going to spend $15-20 on a new roof to hire a third-party inspector to come out there once or twice. That's
so Chuck's kind of chiming in here. So Chuck, you're saying not much.
Obviously, I'm chiming in because I see it as much as Leo sees it. But
yeah,
half the battle is the state allowed people who aren't licensed roofers to be in the roofing business when the hurricane came.
Right.
With the good intention of, hey, we don't have enough roofing contractors to handle the load because we learned that last year from Matthew.
Right.
That, our company, we were literally 6 to 8 months behind on the East Coast with our offices there from the hurricane. So they didn't want that on the West Coast or in the middle of the state. And so they allowed people who aren't licensed roofers to roof houses.
Right.
It was a good intention, but a really bad idea. And then the other thing is these guys that are coming in from out of state that don't have licenses, what they'll do is they'll go to the homeowner and they'll say, hey, Mr. Leo, if you'll pull your permit, I can do your roof next week. So the homeowner pulls the permit, not the guy from out of state. And if they don't do it right, the only person on the hook is the homeowner.
Right.
Because they pulled the permit, not the roofer.
And then if they do something wrong, try to collect against the contractor.
There's
That's money that's thrown away.
Yeah, because the homeowner pulled the permit.
Yeah.
Right. No chance of doing that.
Yeah, so it's kind of a workaround. They see it as a workaround. Hey, this could potentially get me fixed faster, but ultimately it's an unintended consequence. It's kind of like the law.
You
of
have
unintended consequences.
recourse other than to try to sue personally, try to sue the contractor that put the roof on if you can find them.
Right. And that's another part of it. You know, they're supposed to be licensed, bonded, insured. Sometimes how do they get away with not being?
Because if you pull the permit for your house, you can have anybody put your roof on.
Right.
I mean, they don't necessarily have to be licensed. You can do it yourself. I mean, there's no law that says you can't do the work yourself. So if you pull the permit, then you're 100% responsible for that work. So if you hire me or Leo or anybody else to go do the work on a Saturday, we don't have a license, but we used to do roofing when we were 20 years old.
Right.
You can do that. Or you can hire somebody that comes in from out of state and says, hey, we're good guys and we'll do it. And they do a terrible job. That is 100% on the homeowner at that point.
Wow.
So that's one of those that the out of state guys try to use routinely to get around the laws that the state has in place to protect the consumer.
Yeah, protecting the consumers. That's what we want to do here. So keep that in mind and let your friends know about that. If you're in that position, spread that word. We got more from Leo Cannyn, Chuck Peterson, Jerry Slutzky as well here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And when we come back, we're going to have our Name That Tune. We're going to have some fun with you. So with Valentine's Day right around the corner, today's list contains songs in Billboard.com's top 50 love songs of all time. And then we have our feel-good story of the week as well. Baby with Down syndrome wins Gerber's National Photo Contest. So stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll see you after this short break.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, the Consumer Quarterback Show, and a top listing agent here in Tampa Bay. We're looking for real estate listings right now. There's a lack of inventory. If you're on the fence thinking about selling or know someone who is, we'd love to help you with a free comparable market analysis. Basically, the same thing. You pay $500 for a full appraisal. We'll give you that same data, all the comps, all the information for free. Just pull out your smartphone, shoot us a text message to 813-670-7372. Give us a call or a text, 813-670-7372. All right, a couple of hot properties here I want to let you know about. Got a beautiful property on the beach. It's Mandalay Avenue, 1024 Mandalay. We just reduced this property down to $739,000, and we just did a reduction. We've got an open house going on as well over there this weekend. Check it out. 2-bedroom, 2-bath property, over 1,800 square feet with a split floor plan. And a beautiful property out in Valrico, out in East Hillsborough County, 4408 River Close Boulevard in Valrico. This is $299,000. Got a fantastic pool home on a fenced corner lot. Beautiful property, executive style home, and a lot of upgrades. Too many upgrades to mention here, but check out PlatinumMVPRealty.com. PlatinumMVPRealty.com. You'll see all of our listings there. You can do a search, and also we would love to engage with you. Maybe you're looking for foreclosures. You want to buy some foreclosure properties. You can search right on our website for that. In studio today, Leo Kane, Principal Project Manager with Beryl Engineering. Chuck Peterson, Executive Director with Suncoast Roofing. Jerry Slutzky, he's an estate planning attorney here in Tampa Bay as well. Coming up, we have our Name That Tune. We're going to have some fun with you there, and we got our Feel Good Story of the Week. But let's give a shout out to Brio Tuscan Grill, our official restaurant partner. Is Brio Tuscan Grill at the International Plaza, 2223 over on West Shore, 2223 West Shore Boulevard. And at Brio Tuscan Grill, you will discover an Italian menu, signature drinks, and a cozy atmosphere, bringing the pleasures of a Tuscan country villa to Tampa. We invite you to make your reservation today. Check them out and say hello to the staff and friendly staff over at Brio Tuscan Grill, the Italian restaurant dining experience that you want to check out over at the mall, International Plaza. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you, and they're going to hook you up with that free water with lemon every time. They're going to take care of you over there. They take care of you. They do. And so here we go. So let's jump back into this. So Leo, Chuck, we were just kind of talking with the contractor scams, the stuff that you see happening. What else in that space? What do you see as a consumer advocate tip or ideas for people to look out for?
Check reviews. I mean, it's.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can go and check the state license.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easy to do. Just go on the website for the state, and it'll tell you if you're licensed or not.
Yeah, check review sites. Okay.
And if they're coming to your door, knocking on the door, offering, it's a pretty good warning sign as well.
Yeah,
right.
I will say this, because we don't do door knocking, but if we're doing your house, we might go talk to the neighbors that we see that need a roof. But you still have to check. And say, hey, it doesn't matter who shows up. You still got to do a little homework as the consumer. Make sure they're licensed, they're in good standing, they can pull the permit. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I'll give you a horror story because we're doing some houses down in Bonita Springs that a company came in and did the door knocking, tarped a ton of houses down there. They paid for the tarps. The consumer paid a deposit down, and not one of these people can find the roofing company at all. Wow. Zero. Yeah. It was the out-of-state guys, and they came in, storm chasers, and they took money from, I don't know, we're doing 10 houses or so somewhere in there, and I don't know how many they did, but it's just one of those things that if you are not taking a little bit of time on your side to make sure you're dealing with somebody who's here, somebody who's local. I mean, there's plenty of good companies, not just Suncoast, but there's a ton of good companies on the west coast of Florida.
Yeah, it seems like they're competitive. So if somebody shows up with a business card, you got to check out what's on the business card, make sure they're licensed and bonded, insured.
It literally takes 5 minutes.
Yeah. And when you call up these organizations, or even just scan it on sunbiz.org, you can find out. How do you actually know that they're bonded?
They don't have to be bonded. They have to be insured.
Mm-hmm. They just have to be insured. Now, where does the bond come in?
The bond would come in if you were a general contractor or if you were doing a project, a commercial type project that was of such value that the general contractor or the owner wanted you to bond your portion of that.
Right.
That would never happen on a residential house.
On a residential
Yeah,
house.
a lot of people talk like, is your home inspection firm bonded? I'm like, we have no reason to be.
Right.
We're not doing projects. The bond, actually, it's a payment and performance bond.
Right.
And it basically is an extra insurance policy.
Yeah. So if you pull out or something happens to you, the general contractor or the owner can pull your bond and finish it with that bond money.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So it would never apply to a residential
So that's
property.
strictly more of a commercial type.
Correct.
Yeah,
setup.
some of the municipalities, they have like a minimum, like unless it's $500,000 or $750,000, they don't require bonding because those are small projects.
Yeah, actually, Hillsborough County requires us to have a $5,000 bond on record just to be a roofing contractor in Hillsborough County.
Yeah,
but that's kind of out of the scope of what the bonding part is.
Right. So let's talk about some of these different types of programs out there. On the mortgage side, we've got a couple great mortgage partners associated with the show. But also, when you think about some of these other programs that you hear, PACE, the Preferred Alternative Clean Energy, have you guys worked in that capacity? Have you done much with PACE?
Not with PACE. We've done SHIP, which is, or CDGB, or Community Block Development Grants, SHIP, which is a housing improvement program. We've done renovations through that program, not through PACE. Everyone's now asking me about these shingles that are energy efficient, that provide electricity, but I'm like, the payback on that's like 90 years.
Yeah, your break even.
Yeah, break even's 90 years.
Grandkids will get the
We
benefit.
do. We do the PACE.
Wow.
We work with PACE on the areas where they're at, and it is a very easy program to work with if you're the consumer, and it's set up very uniquely. It basically attaches to your tax records, and you pay that payment just like you would pay your taxes. Okay. And the loan is on the property itself, basically, not to you personally. And they're very easy to work with. I mean, if it's somebody that's in the area, because they're not everywhere yet. They're trying to get in the municipalities, but they're not everywhere yet. But if they're in your spot, it's a very good program to work with.
Yeah, it seems really like it's a win-win. Does it involve certain income levels?
Nope. It's 100% based off your property.
Okay.
So where your property is versus, I'm sure they look at your mortgage amount maybe or something like that, but they don't really look at your credit score as much as they just look like, are you working, and do you have a house that has a little bit of equity in it, so we can put it, and that's basically it.
Yeah, and
it's pretty easy.
And it's the Preferred Alternative Clean Energy. So they're helping with clean energy.
They'll do loans for new roofs, AC units, insulation, something else, maybe some new siding or something like that. I can't remember. It's limited in scope.
Yeah.
But it's all about improving the property that you have to be more efficient.
Yeah, exactly. More efficiency.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. All right, if you just joined us, I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. We've got Leo Kane in house, Chuck Peterson, Attorney Jerry Slutzky as well. We're kind of talking construction on the front end of this show, roofing and inspection and engineering. So let's go back to Leo here as well on the engineering side. It's one of the things that Beryl does well is finding out from whether sinkhole structures, trees that have grown into the foundation. Let's explore those areas a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of our bread and butter. We're talking meat and potatoes right now, which is roofing stucco, but our bread and butter is going to be foundation, where we actually are looking to see the foundation damage, 100-year-old piers. If the mortar is starting to deteriorate, do they need to be replaced? Is it do we make a recommendation for future improvement? Do you wait till you start to get a collapse? Seawalls are starting to become more prevalent. A lot of the seawalls over at Rocky Point now are approaching 20, 30 years. Those weren't built with proper weepage. So all of those along Rocky Point, 33607 zip code, your seawalls are due for replacement.
What is that term you used?
33607. That's the zip code.
Proper weepage.
Yeah. So a proper seawall is going to allow weepage for stress, just to allow forces to leave, like when there's rainwater and it needs to go somewhere. So drainage and weepage. If the wall wasn't built like that, instead of weeping, it's just going to start bowing and toppling over. So we're seeing that a lot in 33607, whereas in like Snell Island over in St. Pete, those walls are 40, 50 years. Those are coming due, but the ones at Rocky Point, they just weren't built properly. So one of the fixes there is they're taking timber logs or rocks and putting them down in front of the wall to brace the wall as a short-term 5 to 10 year short-term solution.
Right.
Because a seawall replacement on a 80-foot 80-foot stretch could be $20,000, and not everyone has that.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. You're talking, big finance there when you look at those types of issues. So and it kind of, you think about it from a perspective, a lot of the bridges and also a lot of the, even skyscrapers, they're built to withstand some of that movement. So it's kind of the same philosophy, it seems like.
Yeah, I was always fascinated when I learned like the Empire State Building moves 100 feet back and forth and it's just swaying. I was always fascinated when I learned that.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, when you think about that, that's unbelievable. All right, stay with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. When we come back, more from our expert contributors. We've got Leo Kane. He's a principal project manager with Beryl Engineering. Chuck Peterson, executive director with Suncoast Roofing. And attorney Jerry Slutzky. He's an estate planning attorney coming up. We're going to dive into that. Talk about protecting your assets, ways that you can prepare your future, protect your family, and answer those tough questions before it gets to that point. You want to have that foresight. Coming up, we have that Name That Tune as well. We got songs from today's list are the top 50 love songs of all time, with Valentine's Day right around the corner. And we have our Feel Good Story of the Week. A baby with Down syndrome wins Gerber National Photo Contest. Stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Trisha up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. And we're giving a shout out to Chef Will Wagner. He is a healthy meal delivery service, and Chef Will and his team conveniently deliver organic food, organic meals to your home or office. And they've got paleo, they've got ketogenic, vegan, and gluten-free for kids. And reach out to Chef Will here through the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com, or our hotline, of course. Chef Will Wagner, he's my chef, and he can be your family chef too. 813-670-7372.
Here's my number, so call me maybe.
And consumerqb.com. Just submit the form. There's an email form that comes directly through. You'll see links to all of our expert contributors there as well. You have their contact information, their websites and emails as well. Here in studio with me today, Leo Kane. He's Principal Project Manager for Beryl Engineering. Chuck Peterson, Executive Director, Suncoast Roofing, and Attorney Jerry Slutzky. He's an estate planning attorney. So I want to bring Jerry into the conversation now. So Jerry, we've got, when you think about estate planning, you've got, there's a lot of things that people don't take into account. They're overlooking a lot of things, and it's kind of that tough conversation that you have to have with a family member.
Well, it's one of those things that you have to realize it's not an if question, it's a when question. None of us get out alive, as they like to say. And so you may as well make the plans now while you're hopefully young enough and capable of doing that. Since I was on the show last, a lot of developments have happened in my own family. My dad sadly passed away in November. He was 100 years old, had a wonderful life. He said, "Don't grieve for me." But he had all of his documents in place. Everything was in a trust. Everything is already in the name of my mom or into his now irrevocable trust, which will benefit his children and grandchildren. My mom, along the same time, she's 97 now and is experiencing dementia. Well, she signed a durable power of attorney, giving my brother and me the ability to sign for her. So we're able to pay all of her checks and keep everything going without the necessity of going into court and having a guardianship open. Here in Florida, it's called a guardianship. In Illinois, which is where she is, it's called a conservatorship. So, but the point is, they did the work in advance, and everything is going perfectly fine. My wife, Helen, her mom, sadly, just a few days ago had what we thought was a stroke. Happily, it turned out to be just a TIA, and she's already back at home doing perfectly fine. But she had also done her estate planning. We knew where her long-term care policies were. And that's a biggie. Not only to have all of the documentation in place, but also to actually let somebody know where it is, where to find it in times of emergency. And that's a big part of what the book I had been working on for so many years. Do we have time for me to mention that?
Plug it.
About 10 years ago, I was on my way down to meet somebody in Bradenton. It started pouring, and I wound up hydroplaning into a tree at 70 miles an hour. Thankfully, I walked away from it. I thank the person upstairs for letting me walk away without any injuries, but the car was totaled. And here I'm in Bradenton. I had to wait 45 minutes for a friend to come get me. And during that period of time, it occurred to me, yes, I'm an estate planning attorney, so my documentation has been done for well over 20 years. My brother is my successor trustee. He has a list of all of my assets. But it occurred to me there's so much more in my head that he has no idea. He's in Chicago. I'm down here. He doesn't know where my offices are, who my landlord is, anything about my employees. He doesn't know who my doctors are, but what medications I'm on, what I'm allergic to. I've got probably 20 different bills every month that automatically get paid out of my checking accounts. Things that are charged to my credit cards. The banks all encourage you to go green. They don't send you statements anymore. Well, if people don't know how to get into your email and onto your various websites, they may never find out about that. And so that's what prompted what I have now turned into my book. It's called My Everything File. And it's a resource that has pretty much everything that your loved ones need to know about you. Not only the practical things, your assets, your debts, your passwords, who your doctors are, etc. But I also added a personal component to it. As long as you're reliving all of the stuff that you've accumulated over the years, why not tell the stories about it? Why not talk about your family history? Like here, my dad died at 100. He was the last surviving member of his entire generation. All of the stories of the family history before him are gone with him. Happily, we got a lot of it down. But how much do you know about your great-grandparents?
Exactly.
Do you? Anything?
My grandma's done a good job of kind of relaying a lot of that to us, and it just kind of hit home with us. She was in ICU last week and just looked really bad. And then luckily she finally pulled through. But I remember, kind of thinking about this whole conversation that people need to have. And my mom was talking to the nurse and saying, yeah, she's on this medication, that medication, trying to fill her in. But, that's an important information fact for the nurses and doctors to have. What type of medications is she on? What doses
and
is she
what surgeries have they had in the past?
Yeah.
So all of that's contained in there. I've got 330 pages of questions. Most of it doesn't apply to most people. My wife quite correctly said nobody is going to fill out 330 pages of stuff. They're not all as what retentive as I am. But what you do is you go through the book. There will pretty much, I can almost guarantee that there will be something in there that'll make you go, oh my God, that's right. Somebody does need to know about that, or that they totally forgot about it. Ironically, the editor of the book, there's a site in there where I link to every state has an abandoned property website. In Florida, I believe it's called My Florida Treasure Hunt. I think it's .com or .org. It's in the book.
Wow.
But they went on there. It's a free site, and she put in her mother's name. There was a $30,000 insurance policy she forgot about. I put in my name, and when I moved here 30 years ago to Tampa, I had to put a $200 deposit with the gas company. I had totally forgotten about it.
Wow.
It's in there. So it's a nice resource just for making sure everything that your loved ones need to know about you is in one place.
Yeah.
I am working on a digital version of it. But what I recommend is people just go to the table of contents, see what's in there, what does apply to them, make photocopies of those pages. Don't fill it out in the book, because you may buy a new car, you may buy a new house, different bank accounts. So this gives you the ability of changing it from time to time, and then be cognizant of the fact that some items are very confidential. You would not want to fall into the hands of thieves.
Right.
So if you're putting down bank accounts, sure, you can mention that you got an account at Bank XYZ, but don't put down the account number if it's going to be left in a place where it can easily be found by family members.
Yeah.
Do put the full details in the more comprehensive version. That goes in your safe deposit box or your safe with your important documents. Right. But then after you've done all of this, take the time to create your, we call it an ethical will. I'm Jewish, and they have an ethical will where you basically tell all of your life values, what you want to pass on to your loved ones, what life lessons have you learned, but more importantly, just sharing your life story.
Right.
There's some company, I forget who it is, that has a commercial on that says, it's all about the dash.
Right.
And the dash refers to the dash between the date you were born and the date you die on your epitaph, on your tombstone.
Your gravestone, yeah.
Well, wouldn't it be nice to know for your great grandchildren to know, like in my case, oh my God, he performed in Broadway musicals. He wrote a book. He loved to sing. He loved to play piano.
That's right.
He did ballroom dancing with his wife.
The legacy.
It's all a legacy, and then every generation can continue from generation to generation and continue adding to it. Now you've got a great family legacy piece that becomes very valuable, sentimental.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's protecting your assets here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. If you just joined us, we're talking with Jerry Slutzky. He's an estate planning attorney here in Tampa Bay. So that website you mentioned, that's interesting. So it's myfloриdatreasurehunt.org or .com.
Correct.
So,
I believe it's in there. But speaking of websites, let me tell people where they can buy the book if they decide to. It's $29.95. It's at www.myeverythingfile.com. It is also on Amazon, so if you're a Prime member, you can get free shipping. But if you buy it through the myeverything.file.com, I'm able to add you to a list where I can let you know when the digital version comes out. I'll send out occasional reminders. Oh, by the way, have you seen a new doctor lately? But the email list will not be shared with anybody.
So myfloritratreasurehunt.org, that's a site that is this for real estate properties that are held in probate
any asset. If you have a security deposit, if you have an account, if you don't keep in touch with those people or you move and you forget to let them know and the mail gets returned to them, after a certain period of time, they are required to turn those assets over to the state.
Right.
The state doesn't get to sell them and keep the money. That's still your money. But you do have the ability of going in there and filing a claim and getting it. So, in fact,
Interesting.
It's kind of a fun party thing to do. My wife and I were at a party, and I mentioned it, and so everybody brought out their smartphone and went to the site, and almost everyone in the room said, "Oh my God, I do have something." Usually, it's a missed dividend or something.
Yeah.
$3, $5 is not worth your time. They will say if it's worth over or under $100. But again, my editor found $30,000 for her mother that she had totally forgotten about.
Yeah.
People change jobs. They forget to move their retirement accounts into a rollover IRA.
Yeah.
Or they have a stroke. The family members don't know anything about it.
Right. Yeah, bonds. I think as a kid, there's certain government savings bonds that I had. I don't know what happened to those. I don't remember.
Yeah.
How would they be tracked? It's interesting when you think about that. But
I'll say the same thing. That one of our guys that works in our Melbourne office, his grandfather did that. Was sick, and they went to that website and found $600 and something that he was due.
Wow, $600.
Yeah, it was like 2 weeks ago. It's funny you say that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff here.
So please buy the book. There will be stuff that you will find useful in there.
Excellent. All right, stay with us here. When we come back, we're going to jump into our lightning round. We have our Name That Tune, and our feel-good story of the week is a baby with Down syndrome wins the Gerber's National Photo Contest. Stay with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to ConsumerQB.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at ConsumerQB.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host. I'm also the owner of Platinum MVP Realty. Former USF football player. Go Bulls. And real excited about the Bulls' upcoming season. And Chuck, you said we got scheduled with NC State.
NC State, yeah.
Coming up.
We'll do a home and away on, I think it's 2019 and 2021, back and forth.
Nice.
So that'll be, 2 good games for both of us.
Yeah, lots of fun. Former USF football player, played in the inaugural team, and longtime quarterback on our sports teams. Now we're quarterbacking introductions to our 80-plus show partners, all the folks that we bring on the the show. We educate you, we entertain, and we talk a little bit about ways that you can be protective of your assets. All types of categories. Lots of attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, home services on the show here. So we want to help you. We want to be your consumer advocate. That is the goal of our show. We want to engage you to help you win. Reach out 813-670-7372. We got the phone lines open. You can call or text that line 813-670-7372. And I got a couple of hot listings here from Platinum MVP Realty, 6601 Crikel Avenue in Riverview. This is a Bloomingdale area. 4-bedroom, 3-bath property. Got a fenced-in, beautiful fenced-in yard. There's a treehouse in the back, and it's great for family here. And we also have a nice barn there, over 3,000 square feet, country living lifestyle out in Riverview. $349,000, great buying opportunity. Also, a entry-level kind of a starter-style home condo here is 2614 Cove K Drive, unit number 302 in Cove K Village. 1-bedroom, 1 1/2 bath, and it is a 810 square foot property. And this is a great community. It's $115,000, but in the community you have golf, waterfront, marina, clubhouse. There's a restaurant, pro shop, tennis, sauna, fitness, pool, and jacuzzi. So a lot to offer here from Cove K and Clearwater. And this is compliments of Platinum MVP Realty and great real estate market here in beautiful Tampa Bay. And let's give a shout out to Kipton's The Hotel Zamora on beautiful St. Pete Beach. It's our official hotel partner. Kipton's The Hotel Zamora. It's a whitewashed Mediterranean palace with expansive luxury suites. You've got the restaurant on site. The Castile restaurant is on site. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner served there. Rooftop 360 lounge with gorgeous views of the Intercoastal Waterway and the Gulf of Mexico. Now, make sure you call them up. Let them know you want to book a staycation. Let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Give them the REQB code, and you're going to save 20% off of your staycation over at Kipton's The Hotel Zamora on St. Pete Beach, our official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. In studio today, we got Leo Kane. He's a principal project manager with Beryl Engineering. Chuck Peterson is the executive director with Suncoast Roofing, and attorney Jerry Slutzky, estate planning attorney. And I just got to know if you guys are ready. Name that tune.
Oh boy, there's a couple of them ready.
Leo's ready. Leo's ready. I know he's ready. All right, so name that tune. So have a little fun with you on the show here. So with Valentine's Day right around the corner, today's list contains songs from Billboard's top 50 love songs of all time. So here we go. Song number 1. Old school.
The Beatles.
The Beatles. Chuck. Coming through, Chuck.
I love you. Yeah.
She loves you.
She loves you. Yeah.
1964.
Oh my God, I was in 6th grade.
Number 29. That's number 29 on the list, Jerry.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Song number 2.
Billy Joel.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
1976.
That's before my time.
Paul McCartney and the Wings. Number 3.
Saturday Night Fever.
Close.
How Deep Is Your Love?
How Deep Is Your Love, yeah.
The Bee Gees.
John's cheating over here, John. 1977. The Bee Gees. Yeah, that's right. Number 4. That was number 4. Oh, by the way, the Paul McCartney song, Silly Love Song, is number 5. All right, number 4, coming up here. You should know that one.
Oh yeah, because it's a boy band. That's really like
Leo.
But it's a newer. It's a newer, younger. Yeah. Okay.
Crazy.
That's Beyonce featuring Jay-Z. That was 2003. Number 22 on the list. All right. So here we go.
Don't need credit card to ride this train.
Take it.
Bruce Springsteen.
Close. Huey Lewis, 1985, yeah. Number 36. All right, so we got 4 more songs, but tomorrow's show is a call-in, so it doesn't work with a call-in. So let's go ahead and do it here. We go.
Nice. This is mid-90s. Whitney Houston, mid-90s. Bodyguard, yeah.
Yep, the Kevin Costner movie.
She can sing, boy.
She gave probably the best rendition of the national anthem at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
She did. That's right.
Well, she could just sing.
She got some lungs on her.
Yeah, that's right. It was in Tampa. I danced to this.
Say the little thing called
Thing called love.
That's Queen, 1980, number 14.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Whitney Houston song was number 6. And this song right here is number 1.
Can't believe
on
Whitney went number 1.
top 50, Billboard's top 50 love songs
Give me a
of all
Frank
time.
Sinatra song. No, it's not.
That's Quincy Jones and Whitney together.
Endless Love, Jerry.
Yeah.
Lionel Richie and Diana Ross.
There was 2 of them.
Number 1 from 1984.
Apparently my weakness is love songs.
Yeah, you can. Here's the last song.
Taylor Swift.
That's right. Tater, 2009.
Yeah. Can't name the song though.
Number 48. She barely made the list. All right, so we had a little fun there. There's our name that tune.
That was
What's
fun.
missing is the song that I sang to my wife when I proposed to her.
Oh, nice.
And that's If Ever I Would Leave You from the Broadway musical Camelot.
Nice. I'd like to see what
I'm
number
not sure
that is.
that made the list.
Yeah, well, in my generation it did.
Yeah. All right, here's our feel-good story. Every week we want to tell you a positive story and tell you something good.
Tell me something good.
So a baby with Down syndrome wins Gerber National Photo Contest. The 18-month-old is the first baby with Down syndrome to win the contest. Gerber said a panel of judges chose Lucas out of 140,000 photo submissions. Lucas's family received $50,000 and will be featured on Gerber's social media pages. Lucas's winning smile and joyful expression won our hearts in this year. We were all thrilled to name him our 2018 spokesbaby, says Bill Cottry. He's the CEO of Gerber. He said in a press release. So, feel good story right there. Tell you something good.
Yeah.
Nice.
And let's go ahead and jump into our lightning round.
The lightning round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning round.
All right, top tips, nuggets of advice, words of wisdom. Leo Kane, you're up.
I'm holding in my hand something called Peel and Stick. This will save you 10 to 15% on your insurance if when you re-roof, you use this instead of felt.
Nice.
And if your shingles blow off in a hurricane, this will stop the roof leak.
Wow, very cool. I like that. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, Chuck Peterson.
My tip is I owe Leo lunch for helping me out on this.
Yeah.
No, this is what we were going to talk about until Leo wanted to do the unlicensed. But
I'm still angry.
My tip would be make sure you're doing your homework as a consumer and check out who's doing your work for you, whether it's roofing or anything else. Everybody in the state of Florida has to be licensed for something.
That's right.
So make sure you're checking on the people you have doing your work.
That's right. Yeah,
And don't pull your own permit. Let them do that.
Think a layer deeper. Don't pull your own permit. Jerry Slutzky, estate planning attorney.
Tell the one that you love just how much you love them and why. We got Valentine's Day coming up.
Yeah.
You shouldn't tell them once a year. You should be telling them every day because you don't know when it's going to be your last day. Speaking of Valentine's Day, my parents met at a Valentine's Day party. They were married for 74 years.
Wow.
So I wish everybody the same longevity and happy marriage that my parents experienced.
Yeah, absolutely.
And in the meanwhile, buy my Everything File because it's everything your loved ones
Amazon.
need to know. It's on Amazon and myeverythingfile.com.
Amazon.com.
And in the meanwhile, come visit me in Safety Harbor or Land O'Lakes at my office.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to finish up with a story here as well. You know, you ever see the lions in the circus, right? You think, they have this, they have the tamers, the lion tamers have this stool. So how do you think can a vulnerable human being tame a lion? Well, there's a stool and it has 4 separate legs coming out, right? So what happens is the lion sees that as 4 separate threats and it leaves the lion dumbfounded. So I think a lot of times in life when we get overwhelmed with business, with different social media, all the different pulls on our time, we're sometimes affected by what they call indecision. It's paralysis by analysis. So that's what we want to talk about is the ability to sort through a lot of the chaos that's not going to contribute to your success. Focus on the key function, the power of the 80-20 rule. Wilfredo Pareto talked about in his 80-20 rule, where you're focusing on those key 20% of the tasks that are going to lead to 80% of your wealth, your functions in life. Your success is going to come from that. So great show today. I want to thank Leo Kane, Chuck Peterson, Jerry Slutzky, and all of our listeners out there, our viewers of our TV show on WeBeam TV as well. And we appreciate you listening. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Something as simple as packing up some leftover food, clothing you may have, carrying it with you to and from your commute, handing it to those person that you see on a need on the side of the road. You see them all the time out there panhandling and whatnot. Try to help them out. Be a force for good. Maybe even buy a lunch for an off-service or off-duty police officer or serviceman or woman. Help them out. Be a force for good. Do something kind. Follow us on Facebook, Brandon Rhymes PA, at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show, weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.